When Sweden was the chair or the president of the Security Council in January, we actually brought together a meeting on the Lake Chad region for the first time. One of the results from that meeting was the council going on the trip in early March, and I joined that trip. It was a trip of PRs on the council, the 15 members, and we went to Cameroon, to Chad, to Niger and to Nigeria. We met with the presidents, but also with civil society and with affected people, displaced and refugees, not least women's groups among the affected population. I think we were struck. We had a pretty thorough briefing also before going, and we had a meeting in January as such, but I think we were all struck about the seriousness of the situation, but also the complexity. This is a region that has been marginalized for many years, and they're severe underdeveloped, possibly one of the most underdeveloped pockets in the world in terms of underdevelopment. And then on top of that you have the environmental degradation over the years, where the Lake Chad has disappeared by 90% only since the 70s. And of course this is then causing an environment which is ripe for extremism, and with a lot of young unemployed people who can be receptive to these extreme ideas. So what you have really is a situation where you have environmental degradation and climate change impacting already a very poor area with a large sense of marginalization from the center, and then with elements of extremism. Of course, our hope is that this will not be only for Lake Chad. This is something that we can be doing for all regions, relevant regions, but also that the Council will increasingly be ready to respond to those risks as they occur early on, I should say, rather before conflicts evolve, as a matter of prevention. It's important now that the Security Council follows up on its visit, but also the resolution, where it acknowledges the link between security and climate change. The more immediate measure is to strengthen the capacity in the Secretariat, around the Secretary General, to assess climate-related risks, but also to suggest how those risks can be managed, and managed early on, before conflict erupts, as a matter of prevention. When you speak about Lake Chad region as well, it's important to remember that you need a regional approach, as well as you need a holistic approach in terms of how development and security and all comes together. You also really need a regional approach. In some of these areas, they have more in common with the local people on the other side of the border than they do with their own capitals. And often the capitals, at least in Cameroon, Nigeria and Niger, is very far away. And the local people speak the same language across the border. And it's quite artificial sometimes. That's something that we need also to relate to as we support the region, and that we really manage to have a regional approach.